Yeah, he's repping Riverside.
Rev it or rip it?
Rep it. Represent it.
Oh, rep it.
Dorito bag it.
Bag it.
Riverside. Why'd you get a Riverside hat anyway?
What is he trying to do? A seeing eye puzzle? It looks like he's trying to. What are you trying to
Those
do?
are easy though.
I don't know what he's trying to do over there.
Mm-mm.
What are you looking at? Reading a
Trying
book?
to find what's in his pants.
Reading Rainbow, dude.
Rainbow?
Read it. Rep it.
Riverside. Grumpsta made it.
Song's tight. Boom.
Kirby?
Yeah, Kirby song. Hold on, let me do the slow mute. Alright, internet, what's going on? It's Thursday. You're watching ATP Live. My name's Eris, and I'm joined as usual by Ricksta and Rip. How you boys doing today?
Yeah.
Yeah, Riverside.
Fake hype. Fake hype Thursday at 8
Everyone
p.m.
get hype.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. Get hype. We got to do this shit like a 80s game show one of these days.
How do you do that?
I don't know. How did they do that? With those thin microphones? No?
Oh, the Price is Right microphone.
yeah,
I used to
we
have
gotta
one of
get
those.
on that shit. All right. So, typically when we're starting the show and we're thinking of things to talk about, first thing we do is go to avoidingthepuddle.com and see what Flying Wonky's been up to. But this week has been a really slow news week. So we got a couple things we want to mention, a couple of really interesting things, and then one topic that I think is kind of peculiar that we'll cover in regards to Tekken 7. But first things first. So last week's podcast, we talked about Tekken 7. We talked about the arcade trailer that they recently put out. And the trailer is kind of like weird. It has like dubstep music. But the most interesting thing about the trailer is that it shows gameplay footage in 1080p. So we concluded that the chances are, because you're not seeing a huge advance in textures and just the overall appearance of the game, chances are that the game is going to run at 60 frames per second in 1080p. We're guessing that just based on the footage from the trailer and the fact that if you look at the game itself, though it does look really pretty with all the sparks and shit, it really doesn't have that next gen thing going on as far as appearance other than the sparks. So after concluding that, and we talked about the trailer a little bit more, someone commented in the podcast comments that the entire trailer does not show a single tailspin. So tailspin, in case you guys don't know, is the new feature that is kind of going to replace bound, the way we know it in current Tekken. In Tekken 7, tailspin is this new feature that some characters have, I guess all characters have, attached to specific moves. It functions very similarly to bound in that it extends your combos. Now, the interesting thing is, to me, this is like a giant part of the game. Every single match, you're going to see tailspins in every single combo. So, if it's such an important part of the game, why did they not show it at all in the arcade trailer for the game? And the funny thing is, this arcade trailer for the game was not just a, hey, check it out, Kazuya and all this slow-mo. It had a narrator in Japanese who was explaining how the new features of the game work. It had crush moves, it has ultras, it shows how they work, and it shows how the power crush moves work, and he explains it, and it shows the clip 2 times, too. So it's almost like he's really describing it and showing a visual aid. So in one of them, it shows King doing his shoulder tackle, and it armors through a move, and then in the next clip, it shows King in the same stage against the same opponent doing the shoulder tackle, and he gets swept by a dragon's tail. So this is clearly showing like, hey, this is this new feature. Where is the tailspin in this trailer? Does that mean tailspin is out? Does that mean tailspin is still changing and they weren't comfortable in showing it? What do you guys think about this? Because I didn't even notice it the first time. I was just hype about the dubstep music. But what do you guys think about the missing tailspins? What do you think, Ricky?
I don't know actually, because this is the first time I heard about it when you guys brought it up, and uh, it'd be weird to think that they take it out completely, but maybe they're just they're still working on what they want to do, and they don't want to, since it's not finished yet. Obviously, they don't want to show an unfinished thing as like this is part of the system, even though like they're still working on the the logistics and everything about it, whether or not it will it'll be a combo extender. Maybe it's gonna end up being a combo ender like that,
Right.
where
Yeah.
you don't get anything after it, and maybe they're still working on it. So,
Right.
um, I don't know. I'd be surprised if they took it out completely, but I'm not sure. I'm really like I really just have to wait and see to like really know what they're doing.
I think it's really weird. I just think it's really weird because it was like emphasized in the location test. Almost all the players began doing it, and it's just totally MIA. What do you think, Rip?
I think I agree with Rick. I think that they're probably just not sure of the exact function of it, and the example they have of it. They don't want to, further show people the wrong examples. So, I mean, one other thing that was kind of interesting about this whole thing was that Harada tweeted out, like right after it came out, he was just like, "Hey, this trailer is for arcade operators, not for players." And he had just a single tweet about that.
What
So
does that mean?
I think it means that like maybe it means that it's just to show to get arcade owners interested in what it looks like and that they're adding new features to the game, but it's not necessarily the gameplay elements that are going to get players excited. Like
Huh.
players who are following the game closely. I think.
That's like a marketing move. If that's the case, I mean, why would you? I don't know. It doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound really smart to me. I mean, if the trailer is going to come out and it's going to be for arcade vendors, fine. That's cool. Either make the same trailer appeal to players and arcade vendors, or release two trailers. Because especially if it's going to be the first like official trailer outside of the reveal,
Yeah.
everyone is so hungry for something official. Everyone has just got their eyes peeled. Why would they release this and then just go, "Oh, don't worry, that's not for you. Don't watch that. That's
It's
for
like
other people."
it's like why would they not release it to console very quickly and still go with an arcade release first?
Oh,
You
that
know what I
has
mean?
like a really
I'm,
clear
no,
answer.
I'm saying it's not that clear. I'm saying like it's they don't do things the way we expect them to.
I guess that's true, but to me, when you look at that argument, I think the answer to that is like super clear. It's money. Like, I don't see like from a business standpoint, I don't see the I don't see it being a good business decision for them to make a trailer that has has dynamic editing, it has a dubstep song and all this stuff to get you hype, but it's just for arcade vendors.
I mean, maybe it's meant for them because they have like an arcade show coming up or something.
Yeah, it totally could be. It seems peculiar. Another thing that you have to consider as well is the properties could be changing, I guess, and that's what you guys are mentioning, right? Like the
Right.
properties could change, and if they show it this way, it could be like, what the fuck? I want a refund. That's the way I saw it first, So I don't know. This is such a golden opportunity for them. There are so many people that are looking forward to this, and the people that aren't even looking forward to it, they're at least looking. They got their eyes on Tekken 7. So these types of weird decisions about like, here's this trailer, but nobody watched the trailer. It's not for players. Like it's really peculiar.
I don't think it was necessarily not for players. I think it was, Harada is not an English major, so there are things that are always going to get mistranslated.
Yeah,
And I don't
Katarina.
think yes, I don't think if anything, he probably just said, this is meant for arcade. This is our arcade trailer. Don't look at this as the finished product. Don't look at this as the console version. And don't even look at it as the finished arcade version.
Right.
Think about this as the trailer for the location test that's going to happen when we do it over here.
Yeah,
It's kind of
that's a
like
good point.
I think that's what he meant, but obviously in 140 characters where he doesn't know how to speak English,
Doesn't
that's
even
kind of
know
hard.
one of them very
Yeah.
well. Yeah, yeah, that's an excellent point. I mean, in that video, they do talk about the next location test, right?
I think it's supposed to be in two different. Well, I think one's still in Tokyo, but the other one's in a different area where it's I think a little bit further than
Yeah.
where they originally did it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna test it out, just spread out further.
Right. I mean, that could be totally true. This could be the trailer for the location test. And if that's the case, then that's very interesting. Also, if you consider the timeline that even Michael Murray has basically like confirmed, even though he didn't say the launch date, he said February is about the time frame we're looking at for arcade release. If you think about that time frame, right now we're almost done with November. So you have December and January, right? You need at least 1 month after the game is completed to turn it into an arcade game and do that part of it, you know? The game itself has to be done 1 month before that. So we're talking, the game's almost done. Like, we're talking about, if, let's say, there was some great idea, right? They could not put it in at this point. It's too late. You know, the decisions are already made. The character roster is by far already made. All of the animations and stuff are already done. They are definitely fine tuning it at this point. So, what do we think about that? Do we feel like that's not a lot of time? I mean, if you think about the time frame, it's really like snug. You know, what are our thoughts about this issue, Rip?
I mean, I think that we're looking at it from like maybe an outdated model. Like, um, maybe they only need to have the first 18 characters or whatever it is done, and
Oh,
they could, download to the arcade machines the additional time release characters.
holy shit! I didn't even think about that.
That was the
The
first thing I thought
internet.
of too,
Holy
because Rip,
shit!
Rip brought this up like a while when we were just talking, bullshitting with each other, and like
Yeah,
he brought up that concept, and at first, both you and me were like, that sounds stupid, right? But then you think about it now, it's like those characters they can probably fine tune or whatever, but
yeah,
those other characters that they're good plan on putting in later, they don't even have to add them. They can work on it while the game is in arcades, and then ship it out as a time release character.
yeah,
Because
big time.
that's it's a way to keep people in, and there are games out there that constantly develop new characters and new things
Yeah,
for their game, and just to keep people interested. So I think it could be one of those things. I mean, I would think the starting roster might be a little bit bigger, but if it's not, this isn't a bad starting roster either.
dude,
I mean,
that that
there's been
brings
smaller.
that brings a lot to my mind. I mean, okay, so we had 18 characters at the first location test, right? That's not that many characters. But we have confirmed that it's going to be mid 30s, right? So it's going to be anywhere from 34, 36, 37, whatever, right? So if that's 18 and we're going to get one time release character a week, we're talking a shitload of weeks after the launch, you know?
Hmm.
So that really does give them quite a bit of time. I mean, 4 weeks in a month, we're talking 2 months at least, more than 2 months, for the full character roster to be released. So that is super interesting to me. I wonder if you're right. I wonder if this is like their next generation development of a game model.
I mean, I think they should do it anyway, just because previously, whenever they had time release, one of the issues with it was people would hack the board some way to get the other characters unlocked. And people
Is
go,
that
oh, there
true?
it is. Yeah,
I've
you
never
would see
seen
like
that.
I've
No,
seen
like
that.
Tekken 5. I remember back in 5.0, before the time release characters even came out. There's some guy from Korea or something posted on TZ. Like this is a character list, right? So everyone looked at it and was like, Roger Jr., Ganryu, Wang. Are you serious? This is stupid, And then obviously, boom, first one's like Roger Jr. is like, oh shit, that guy might be right.
Wait a
You know,
minute,
he,
but I thought that Tekken 5 had no time release other than Heihachi and Devil Jin.
no,
No, it had
they
a
had
shit ton.
Oh,
they had a shit
really?
ton. Ganryu and Beck were both time release characters. Same
Even
with
Bruce was
Roger.
time release.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's how I learned the game. I would go to the arcade, and every week when the time release came out, I would go and learn those characters immediately.
Man, that is so crazy. I mean, that really is actually relieving to me. That's like a relief because I'm thinking to myself, these guys are like shitting their pants trying to finish this game, and Tailspin's not in the trailer, and it's like, oh shit. But it's totally viable for them to just download a character into the game. That's not even there when it launches. I mean, that sounds
Good.
great. I hope that's the case. And that's something that next time I talk to Harada, if I don't know if that'll be on the podcast or not, but I'm going to ask him. That's a good question. I want to know how they're handling the time release. I want to know all that stuff. That sounds crazy. What if they're not even done with the Arab character? What if they're
Yeah.
still working on the Arab character way after it's launched and then they just
Mhm.
drop him 2 months later? It's like a new character in Tekken 7 and it's time release. That would be super hype. This is, this whole Tekken 7 idea is really peculiar to me because the games come out. A lot of people, as I mentioned, are kind of looking at it, and I get a lot of negative from Tekken players, and I get a lot of positive from non-Tekken players. And you mentioned too, Rip. I mean, at this point, your YouTube channel has the highest viewed Tekken 7 videos, other than like Maximilian, right? I mean, you have those like videos that are like 100,000 views. So the
Yep.
comments in there, you were mentioning about the comments in there. What's the vibe you're getting by the general 100,000 YouTube viewers community?
I mean, I think the majority of them that I have are negative. Just like if I wanted supers, I'd play Street Fighter. Or like get rid of Power Crush. I don't want this Tech Revolution garbage. Like things like that. And then there are some comments like I don't know what they're from, but they're like yes, finally Tekken has supers. The supers look hype or whatever. Like so there are people who are excited about it, like or some people like they said like oh wow, I was really scared of this game, but after listening to your video, I'm kind of like thinking maybe it won't be that bad. So I don't know. It's like a mixed reaction, but I think a lot of the initial reaction, and I assume most of my initial reaction is from Tekken players, is pretty negative. I feel.
Yeah, it seems very peculiar. Have you noticed that as well, Ricky?
I don't really look for it, so, and that's,
I mean,
since I
just the
don't.
buzz. I don't mean necessarily YouTube comments, but just the
Oh
buzz
yeah,
from
but I
people.
mean, like I'll like read chats or whatever, and so it seems pretty. To me, it seems more neutral than anything. Like
Hmm.
I don't feel like people are like super down on it. There are people obviously that are super down on it because it's not the game that they know, right? They like,
Yeah.
but everyone feels that way about every new game, and it's to me, it's like I could care less what people think about the game right now because
Yeah.
the game isn't even out. People haven't even played it. They don't even know if it's fun or if it's any good.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that too. When it comes to any fighting game, I reserve judgment until I put a joystick on my lap and I play the game and I can actually feel how the game plays, and then I can make judgments on it. Like and so people right now are already saying Power Crush is broken,
So
Power Crush should be
stupid.
stupid, or things like or if Tailspin's still in the game, or if it's not in the game, I'm done with this game. Someone I
So
already
funny.
I already read that comment, that
Oh,
particular comment in your chat already
yeah.
while this stream was going on.
Yeah.
So people they're so quick to judge. I mean, in it's the society we're in now, where it's everything's quick judgment. Because we're on Twitter, everyone has a quick reaction to something. So
Mm.
I'm not too surprised. And to be honest, I take all that like with it's just like whatever, dude. Just like wipe it off your
Yeah.
shoulder, ignore it, and then when the game comes out, the same person that says I'm done with this game is gonna be the best player at Evo next year. So
Yeah, or like just in love with that shit. I mean, there's no way to. A statement like "I'm done with this game" before the game comes out is like you would have been done with any game. It doesn't
Hmm.
even matter what they showed. It would have been you would have been done with that if you're even 10% serious. Otherwise, then you're just talking shit. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like I'm a pretty big hater generally, and I'm over here not hating. I'm like, it feels odd. I'm the one that's like, dude, that shit looks tight. Like, and I have complaints too. It doesn't look perfect. Of course, just like everyone else. I have when I look at it, there are things that come to mind. The costumes and et cetera, et cetera. But still, I'm so excited to play it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a abstract Tekken fan, but just seeing it was exciting enough to me, and it made me want to play it. And it seems like there are Tekken fans out there that are not like that. Tekken fans seem really irate and really pissed, and like you can't put anything in front of them without them just being really pissed. And at this point, it seems like the Tekken scene is getting a bad reputation for it. Like all this hate, 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 and it's like, what the fuck? It's your game, dude. It's your game. You have to support it, you know? It's just
but you can look at it like this. Like there's a good parallel to this community and another community, and that's Smash.
okay.
Because Smash, obviously they're all melee players, right? And then Brawl came out, and now the community was pretty divided, and some of them wanted to keep playing Brawl, others were like, this game sucks, let's go back to melee. The new Smash is coming out, and those melee players, which melee took over Brawl. Brawl's no more, and so the melee is looking at the new Smash like, this is a melee. Screw that game. Let's go back to melee. And it's eventually you just you either adapt or die, and the majority of Tekken, the majority of the Tekken community is gonna adapt and play the new one. The old ones are gonna die. So
So
let them
you're
die.
saying it's pretty common for people to have this kind of old man syndrome about anything new. It's not
Yeah.
just the Tekken scene.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at Third Strike players as well. Like the best Third Strike players. I don't know any outside of the Third Strike players that only play Third Strike. They
Yeah.
don't play anything
The
else.
real Third Strike players. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you.
like Ricky and Justin, they play everything, so they
Yeah.
don't care what new game comes out because they're already good at it. New game come out and they're great at it already before it
Yeah.
even comes out. But like the old like Yi Wang, Pyro Lee, you would never see those guys play anything other than Third Strike because that's all they like. So I mean, with this, it's gonna be either all these players that hate the game are either gonna have to stick with Tekken Tag 2, or move on to Tekken 7, or just not stop playing Tekken altogether.
Yeah, I mean, it relates, but the thing is, especially now, after really kind of sinking my teeth into Street Fighter 4 and learning the system, I have to say that it is like 0% like Third Strike. So now that I've played Street Fighter 4 more, I can almost totally agree with the Third Strike players that at first I thought were kind of bitches. Like, I always wanted to see people like Pyro Lee or whoever play Street Fighter 4, but they never wanted to. Now that I've played Street Fighter 4, I don't blame them. It might as well not be called Street Fighter 4. It's so light years away from Third Strike. So this is it's still going to be Tekken. I mean, this is still going to be Tekken. Third Strike to Street Fighter 4, what is the similarity there? There is almost none. Movement is different, dashing is different, jumping is different, getting off the ground for a jump, fundamental things like throws, doing a crouching dragon punch. These types of things are just literally the core fundamentals of the game are drastically changed in Street Fighter 4. The core fundamentals of Tekken, at least from what it seems, I haven't played the game myself, but dude, Korean backdash, block punish, whiff punish, throw breaks, everything is functioning the way it functions currently. So it really isn't fair, I think, for Tekken players to have the Third Strike syndrome with this game because Tekken 7 is not the Street Fighter 4 we thought it was going to be. Tekken 7 is Tekken 7. It has Street Fighter 4 like elements, but the fundamental core mechanics of the game have not changed, as far as I know. So it's not a valid argument, in my opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I think about it too. Maybe the Smash, the parallel isn't as good because I'm sure the differences between Brawl and Melee are significant enough, like where it may not feel like the same game.
Right, yeah.
I think legacy skill, obviously, we've talked about this. Legacy skills in Tekken, they exist because people that have played since Tekken 4 can still play now.
Yeah.
But I don't think a player that only played Smash 64 can play the newest Smash game now. I think the game changes constantly for the majority of fighting games, except for like Tekken and Soul Calibur, the Namco games.
Yeah, I mean, Soul Calibur changes quite a bit as well. I mean, to me, the key aspects to a fighting game that are just the core fundamentals are basically the movement system. I mean, that's really what it's all about. The moving your character is the first thing you do before you push a button. And if your character, and even Smash, one of the biggest complaints I've heard is wave dashing. And that has to do with the movement system. You can't move, So I can see that when even Soul Calibur 5, everyone quit that game when they nerfed the movement. I mean, if you can't move in a game the way you think you should be able to move, it will become unappealing. But in this case, I don't know. Do we know if they've even nerfed the movement in T7, or is that a rumor?
I think it was just a rumor. I think it was based off the initial stuff, and I think it was just we were looking at people who weren't playing the game very well.
Right, yeah. And then later on, we found out, okay, everyone's moving hella crisp again. And it's like, I don't know. The movement, the throw breaking, the fundamental universal tools that every character has, that is the game's core system mechanics. And with Tekken 7, I don't see enough there to get that kind of brawl versus melee kind of hate. It's just unwarranted. And if any of our words have any kind of weight out there, at least don't complain until you get it. I mean, saying I'm done with the game, all it does is make you look like a bitch, And everyone's listening to you, because one bitch is one thing, but you get a whole ocean of bitches, and then we have a really serious problem. Tidal waves of bitches, and when people come into the scene, they're like, oh, Tekken 7 looks cool, but damn, all the Tekken players hate it. Who knows? Maybe that could be a good thing. Maybe they're like, oh, Tekken players hate it? I'm going to love it. Fuck Tekken players. So, who knows? It's very hard to tell with the internet these days. I just think it's kind of absurd because considering what we were foreseeing in Tekken 7, thinking that it would be the next Tekken 4, thinking that it would be a dramatically cut move list, a really easy game, it really doesn't seem like it's very... I mean, the move lists don't look very cut, The character roster is 36. That's not really that little, I mean, it's like, where is the Tekken 4? It's almost not even there. It's basically supers and crush moves and the same game we have, including those. So, I don't know, unwarranted. I don't like it. I don't like the negative attitude. A negative attitude is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy anyway. You got to have a good attitude so good things happen. Everyone sees that shit. The people that are making the game, they see your comments. You think about every morning when you get up for work, right? If you have a bad attitude, your whole day is gonna be fucking shitty. Imagine if Michael Murray wakes up and sees all this negative bullshit. He's gonna go to work and be like, "Oh, you guys don't like this game? Boom, power crush moves. Fuck you." You know, like that's the last thing you want. You want, positive reinforcement. You want to give these guys the opportunity to make a game that we're all gonna love for many years.
Just imagine waking up every day, looking at your Twitter, and then seeing hella people, just random nerds, just
dude,
messaging you saying, "This sucks. What are
dude.
you doing to my game?
Yes.
Blah blah blah. You're a bitch. Put Lily in a bikini right
Yeah,
now.
right
Fucking
now,
asshole."
dude.
It's like,
You guys know Combo Fiend, right? Everyone in the chat room knows Combo Fiend. He's the guy that basically he was a player for many many years. I've known him for like 15 years, and eventually Capcom decided to hire him on to help create Ultra Street Fighter 4. So I talked to him in NorCal, right, when I went to NCR, and I asked him like, "Hey, dude, are you happy? Like, does your job make you happy?" I asked him that question. And at first he was like, kind of shocked. He was like, "That's a weird question. I get a lot of questions and I don't get that one." But then he started to answer and he was like, "Dude, it's like the most stressful, depressing thing when I have to look through these suggestions because it's part of his job to look through what everyone thinks. When I have to look through these suggestions and everyone is just shitting on everything, it brings me down." He said that. And I mean, dude, we're humans. The people making these games are humans. So, I mean, warranted trash talk is, I'm 100%. If you have facts backing up your complaints, 100%, I love that. Because it lets them know that their idea was shitty. But if it's a situation where you have no hard information, you don't know anything about the game, you haven't played it, there aren't even American English-speaking people who have given us information about it, it's really unfair. I really don't like that, and I think it's it's giving the scene a really negative kind of brain cloud. You don't want to have a brain cloud. You know what I mean? Joe versus the volcano.
I didn't understand either of those references.
Brain cloud. Anyway, do you guys have anything to add to the topic?
I feel like you're just adding words together, then you just make up like that was just a
Brain
random
cloud.
slot.
No, dude. Joe versus the volcano is a movie starring Tom Cruise and Meg Ryan, and in that movie
No
he
one
gets a brain cloud.
cares.
I'm just telling
Whatever.
you.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, any comments, any thing to add to this topic?
I'm just curious about why Tekken's been declining over the years now. Like Ricky said, like, all these guys who hate on it, you're gonna play the game anyway, whatever. But then why is Tekken, since Tekken 5 with Tekken 6, I mean, like, is that what it declined? Did 5 to 6 decline?
Yeah.
I think 5 to
Right.
6 declined, but not in arcades. 5 to 6 was a huge boom for arcades. In the arcades, Tekken 6 was huge. So
Right. It just came out way too late.
But that depends on where you lived, because where we lived, we had arcades.
right, right.
In other places like that didn't have arcade, there was no boom. It was just a dud because they didn't have the game.
Yeah, you're right. It was a dud. You're right about
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, Tekken's been declining, for a while. I mean, is that like what is that related to?
We've talked about this topic like a few times, and as a global thing, I mean,
If it's been since Tekken 5, right, and it keeps on like getting less and less, and the only thing that I see that's been growing since Tekken 5 is combos,
yeah.
juggles, right? And I mean, if the casual player looks at that and says like that, and then they see the Tekken 7 thing, and now they say, okay, so there's juggles still in there, and now there's this other Street Fighter stuff, like maybe it will decline more. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's so easy to say like oh yeah, all those guys, whatever, they're gonna buy it anyway. Like I don't think that's that simple to say.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous game they're playing over there at Namco. I mean, we said many times we understand the whole arcade release, late release on console in terms of a business decision, but it really is, they're playing Russian roulette over there, because it's possible that the reason the whole Tekken 6 was huge in arcades everywhere else and not in the Western world is because of that late console release. And it's possible that the decline from Tekken 5 DR to Tekken 6 could have been because of that. So they're definitely not addressing that potential catastrophe, right? They're most certainly not addressing that in Tekken 7. Who knows? I mean, we always say the game's hard to learn and all that stuff, but is that really why? I mean, is that really the reason? Maybe it does have a lot to do with this huge arcade wait. Maybe people are just like, you know what? Fuck it. By the time it comes out here, it's 2 years old, and we're all about next gen.
Hmm.
So where's the next gen? Why don't we just get Mortal Kombat 10, Next Gen
Yep.
City, developed directly for console? You know. But then on the flip side of the coin, we have a direct competition with Tekken, which is not competition, but kind of like a sister game, which is Soul Calibur. And Soul Calibur's popularity has waned since Soul Calibur 2. And that went direct to console at Soul Calibur 2. So this is like a immediate argument to this argument. Like Soul Calibur was hella poppin' in the US everywhere. You know, it was really poppin' when it was on arcades. Soul Calibur 3 came straight to console, was a huge fucking catastrophe, and every console direct Soul Calibur game has done kind of poorly. You know, it's had an
Hmm.
initial boom, and then basically it's the community's job to keep it alive in majors and stuff. But really, the popularity to me has waned. And right now, I feel like Soul Calibur is in the same boat as anime games in terms of popularity. There is like a very small group of people that don't play much else, and when a new one comes out, they kind of show up and support it for a while, but the scene is waning overall. And it seems like the Tekken scene is doing that as well. I don't know what do you guys think needs to be done to remedy this issue? What do you think is the problem? I think it's kind of a pickle. What do you think, Ricky?
It's funny that you brought up Soul Calibur because I was thinking like they both went opposite directions. You know, it's like
Yeah.
console only, arcade only, and they
Yeah.
both fell. It's like what the hell's the answer? You
Yeah,
know,
what is the answer?
I thought about though like Tekken 6 to me was not a good game in terms of bringing in new players for a few reasons. One, I think the game was just it was overall the game didn't change much from 5 to 6
Hmm.
in my opinion. And so like people that haven't been playing since at least 5 were kind of, you know, it was hard for them to get into the game. Like I think about all the new players that we picked up during Tekken 6 and Soul Cal, and I really can't think of any. Like
There's
I
a
feel
lot. There's a
like
lot.
like name I like only ones I can name in the top of my head is Gallo. That's like
No,
really
man,
it.
there's tons, dude. You remember there were people like that soy milk and
They were there
these
since Tekken 5.
I don't remember
Before
them.
they
They were
were.
definitely there. You weren't there during Tekken 5, so
Hey,
that's not
I'm
mine.
one. The
Well, yeah,
game picked me up.
but you played during Tekken 5 though.
I did play,
Yeah,
but
you
the
did.
game itself was not compelling to me. Tekken 6 was the one that I thought, wow, this game is the one that I really like. You know,
Well, I
so
guess
I'm an excellent example.
I don't know if you count though. Like I mean, like
I don't
brand
count.
new. Yeah,
No,
I don't
you
think you
don't
count
count.
because you're also because you played Tekken before, you know. So I feel like you have to like bring in like brand new players that want to just stick with this game, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't think 6 was not good at that because it was so similar to 5 and people felt and it was so overwhelming with, you know, with characters and all this other shit that people didn't understand.
Yeah.
Tag 2 was worse at that
Yeah,
situation
even
in that
worse.
regard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that's basically the hole we've gotten ourselves into. I mean, you know, two difficult games. So how do we move forward?
well, Tekken 7, if they do Tekken 7 with 20 characters and you know flashy slow mos, maybe you could pick up people that are like you know at first sight they're like, oh, this game looks sick. Now I want to try it. You know, I don't even know if Tekken 6 or Tag 2 had that appeal to a casual player where at first sight
Mm.
it looked like this game is sick. You know,
Yeah.
especially if they watch especially if they watch like an actual like tournament match, like if
Yeah.
like when people watch Fab versus Core at Evolution
Yuck.
2000 whatever,
Yeah.
that was like, you know, just burying it
Yeah, totally
its
burying the
They
game.
should totally remove fucking Bob from the game. Just
They really
because of
should.
that.
You know, Jimmy J. Trent has mentioned in the past that he wouldn't be surprised if they remove Bob because they can't figure out how to balance him. They keep tweaking him around and he keeps being top tier no matter what. So maybe they'll just get rid of him. I would not mind. Bob is a
I would.
butt ugly character to me. He looks so stupid. So yeah, I would be pleased if they get rid of that
At
character.
first I thought that was stupid. Like I don't like there's no way they could get rid of a character that they just brought in. But then you think about it, the way Jimmy said it's like, yeah, like the only way they can make him worse is if they made him really shitty.
Yeah.
10 frame jab turns into a 20 frame jab. You know, it's the only way you can make him bad is by just giving everything he has plus, you know, 2 extra frames and minus 10 on block everything.
That's the thing, you know, there are some characters that are designed that really just because of their design, it's really hard to balance them. I think Steve is another one where Steve he could be really good. If you gave him like one really good low or tweaked the frames on one of his lows to be a little bit better or anything like that, you would have a problem. So I think Steve is another character where it's really hard for them to balance, and Bob seems to be one like that as well. So I don't know. Maybe they could abandon ship. Uh, Another on the topic of abandoning ship. So someone in the chat room was like, "Oh, I love June. I love June. June is my favorite character, right?" And I was like, "Oh, there's a good chance June won't make it in Tekken 7." But then I'm thinking, they spent a lot of money animating that character for Tekken Tag 2. June has a ton of new animations. Would they be willing to throw that investment away? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they're thinking we spent all this money, paid all these actors to, motion capture these butt ugly moves that June has. We're not going to throw them out. We're putting June back in the game. I just based on that logic, I would bet on her being back in the game because of all the new animations. What do you guys think about that topic? What do you think, Rip?
I think she's in the game no matter what. Like,
For
I mean, I think the
sure.
animations, yeah, I think the animations are a really good thing to put it over the edge. Like to say like now she's really guaranteed to be in. But I mean, beforehand, the stuff like I'm going back to like how they want to focus on storyline in this game, and how previously when Harada was asked on Twitter about that intro where Ogre is holding June's head,
Yeah.
he basically said that that's Jin's thought about what happened and not what actually happened.
Oh, it's
Eh,
like a
Essentially,
hallucination?
it's just that's Jin's interpretation of what happened. That's what he believes happened, but it's
Huh.
not, maybe what actually happened. So I think we're gonna see June come back.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. What do you think, Ricky?
First off, Rip just butt dialed me while talking right now.
Wow.
That was
Impressive.
I'm amazing.
impressive.
Yeah,
That was stupid.
Don't butt down me.
distracting you.
Man, what
You're
the hell's going on my phone? Anyway,
you're on his fave 5, dude.
Damn, talking about
Dude.
butt style.
What was I gonna say? Something about June. Well, you know what? Like, that's the thing. Like, I thought that it would be stupid for them to get rid of certain characters from like Tekken 6 because they spend so much time on those characters too, like Zafina and who else is there? Miguel.
Miguel,
Yeah, but it feels like they gave some of Miguel's animations to that new dude.
Gladio.
Yeah, so I mean, if they gave like Kazumi a bunch of Zafina moves, I'd be cool with that. So maybe they just might do like a combination of characters.
I don't think that they actually gave Miguel's moves to what's his name? Maxwell. I
Yeah.
don't think they did that. I think they just gave Maxwell moves that look like that. And
No,
if
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
but
case,
I,
go
but I
ahead,
think
son.
but I think it was kind of like it looks like it, but I bet you it must have been like the foundation was Miguel, and then they just
Could be.
tweaked it to look like not Miguel,
Yeah,
but it
these
still looks
types
like
of
Miguel.
things are really interesting to me because if you recall, before Tekken Tag 2 was out, Harada said something like they're completely redesigning Miguel because nobody liked his appearance in Tekken 6. And their complete redesign was him wearing a stupid shirt and
yeah.
whatever. But the statement of him being unappealing makes me think like, oh wow, maybe what's wrong with that concept? I mean, dude, you can't hit a home run with every character you design. Some of the characters are going to be unpopular, some of them are going to be whack, hard to balance, whatever. So, I don't know, and with the roster cut, I mean, I don't know, maybe they will get rid of Miguel, maybe they will get rid of Bob. We know Leo's in, we know Zafina's in. Who else was new in Tekken 5? I mean, in
Wait, how do we
Tekken
know
Zafina's
Zafina's
not in.
I didn't mean
Yep.
Zafina. I meant Leo and
Lars.
Lars.
Lars,
Yeah,
Elisa.
he was in 6BR. Who else is new in Tekken 6 that's confirmed in Tekken 7?
Elisa.
Elisa. Those are only three. The other three are not confirmed.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're gonna keep Lars. Elisa, I wish they didn't keep her. I think she's such a stupid character, but whatever. She's in too, I guess. I don't know. Time release. Time release is crazy. Damn. I'm looking forward to the Arab character myself. I want to see what they do with that. Tekken 7. It's so annoying knowing that we're not going to be able to sit in practice mode and make tutorials and pick the game apart for like 2 years.
Whatever.
That's how you
We'll
feel
just-
about it? Whatever?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just play Mortal Kombat, and maybe we'll lose interest in Tekken 7 by then.
Yeah, that's what they're planning, right? That's
Yeah,
the marketing
that's the strat.
strategy.
Yeah, and
You know-
they'll release trailers for the arcade operators so that we won't care more. And
Yeah,
It'll be
this
cool.
is the time, internet, where it's like it's gonna be tough for us Tekken fans out there. It's gonna be tough because we're gonna be watching shitheads like JT Chinoy fucking playing the game, and we're gonna be sitting around not playing the game.
And
What
then
I'm thinking-
JT is gonna allow String Bean to play his tournament match because he's too scared. What a
What were you
bitch.
gonna say, Rip?
When we did the Gosu Tekken, was that before the console release of Tekken? Because we did it for Tekken
Oh
6, right?
shit, was
Was
it? No, no, it
LD?
was after the console release. It was way after
Okay,
the console release.
I'm not sure. I'm just
We
asking.
just did that over because you remember that guy LD Maxi used to
Right.
record hours of footage, but in the
From an
background it was just
arcade.
the crowd. So everyone was like, "Man, this crowd is kind of annoying sounding." It was just the arcade noise.
Right.
So that's where they got the idea of okay, let's get Rip and Eris on the commentary and boom, boom, boom.
Right. But
So
I'm saying, was that before we got the game on console?
it was after because I didn't start doing podcasts or anything until it came out on console. And that was way after podcasts. That was way after everything. I didn't even have a
Yeah.
fucking mic, I didn't have shit.
Cool.
So it was definitely after a console release. But in this case, it might have to be before. I mean, right?
I
We're
don't know,
gonna have
man.
to do
Who are we gonna
commentary on.
get? Who's gonna get us their footage? JT?
No, I mean whatever. There's footage out there. Tac Tac, 1893 or
Yeah,
whoever.
it's not gonna be hard getting footage now because everyone has the capability to
Yeah,
record. Especially
exactly.
in Korea. In Japan, they're still a little bit behind on that.
I wonder what the deal is with that. It seems like Korea has Green Tekken, Tac Tac's uploading direct feed all day. Where is the Japanese? If we didn't have Wonky, I mean, we wouldn't even know what's going on over there. The
Well,
world would be flat.
a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're still on Nico Nico, and I don't think Nico Nico is like the best quality video streams and all that kind of stuff. I don't even
Yeah.
think they have the best like quality like capture cards or anything like that in Japan.
I think the whole Nico Nico thing is beginning to become a thing of the past. Word buzz got to me about the whole Master Cup tournament and the people running the tournament and everything. They seemed really happy with Twitch's results and the whole performance of the stream. Both the Japanese and the American stream on Twitch just seemed to be like they were very pleased about it. So perhaps this is the beginning of the end of having to deal with premium seats and all that shit on Nico Nico. So I don't know. I'm very hopeful for that because it's really holding back our ability to see Japanese matches. And Japanese matches, in my opinion, more often than not, are more entertaining than Korean matches because every player has such a weird, ballsy style and they just do wild things. In Korea, it feels like there is a Korean way to play Tekken. It's Korean style. Even when I talk to Korean players, when I ask them, who do you think's really good from America? They'll say stuff like, oh, Mr. Naps is so good because he plays so Korean style. So Korean style. I'm like, what? Okay. Korean style, I guess. Even to them, they really think that Korean style is a style. And I would like to see more of Japanese style, So hopefully they get rid of the whole Nico Nico thing. I think that whole thing is whack altogether. I mean, it's the internet, right? World Wide Web. Let's all get a premium membership. What the fuck?
Let's all have a seat.
Yeah,
Be able
why
to
not?
watch.
Have a seat, Fuck Nico Nico, man. You gotta be Taiwanese to buy that shit. It's so annoying, dude. Anyway. Okay, what else? PlayStation 4.
We
You
have
guys-
one.
Are you guys gonna get down on GTA 5?
I'm gonna be a bird again.
Are you gonna play it
Tomorrow.
online or what?
Yeah, I want to beat the single player first, though.
Single player's whack, dude.
Dude, I suck. I can't aim on the fucking controller, man.
Yeah,
gotta
I
use
suck too at that. I suck at.
You're way better. What are you talking about?
No, no, no. I don't like shooting in that game. I don't like any missions that involve shooting. All I like doing is punching and driving. That's
Yeah,
it.
same with me. All right,
Punching
cool.
and driving. I love the races. I love all that stuff, but the shooting in that game's whack to me.
Wait, so when I play online, I can punch and just drive?
Well,
Well,
people are going to be
online-
shooting you, so
That's gonna suck.
No, no, no. Online works a little bit differently. Like if all three of us were playing, we would get like a group of people in a lobby and we would run a race. That's kind of how it works. You can
I mean,
also
there's-
run
there-
a mission and shit.
yeah,
but-
there's a bunch of different ways you can play the game online. There's
Yeah.
the open world thing, and then there's the, do this mission where some of the missions can just be, get this thing, or it can be like a race, or it can, be, an air race.
Yeah, there's
Stuff like
airplane
that.
races. There's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of different ways to play the game. I also like the garage aspect of it, so I'm gonna play too. It seems like you were enjoying it, so my
Yeah,
personal stance
okay.
on that is that I feel like if you play the single player game, you're only wasting time where you could be making money online in the online version. So
I'm gonna have like
Yeah.
a million there anyway, right, from pre-ordering. So
million is nothing, dude. It's like
I'm a millionaire, dude.
yeah, sure. I better get a million too. I don't get a million, huh? Because I didn't pre-order.
Pre-order.
Weak.
But can't you just transfer your
That's
save
cool.
data? So don't you have like a million anyways?
I don't know how much money I have, but either
Must
way,
suck if you're not a millionaire.
I'm looking. I already have a house. My net worth is more than $1 million, player. You don't got shit. You don't have a fucking garage. You don't have any cars.
I
You're
don't need that
whack.
shit,
All
man.
you are is a bird.
I got a construction truck.
Don't you wish you were a bird, Eris?
Dude,
Yeah, you're not a bird.
the second I saw that, I fell in love. I was like, dude, you could be a bird? That looks so cool. I want to land on stuff, but you suck at being a bird, so it's like, whatever.
I want to practice. This is my second time. I died when I died first. I was like, man, fuck this. It takes too long to get here. Whatever, like I don't want to die again. So.
Yeah, whatever. Wah, wah, wah.
Mhm.
All right, so do we have any other shit to talk about? It's a slow news week. I want to get back to eating big dinner and then streaming.
Wednesday night fights.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday Night Fights. So yeah, we know that Wednesday Night Fights kind of had a weird change of flavor. Alex Valle and Level Up have split. As far as professionally, they've split from Super Dojo and Mike Watson, and now there's this new Wednesday Night Fights, which is run by Commando and Watson. It's a little bit different, but it's still kind of the same. The thing that really is throwing me off, and I doubt that Valle is gonna watch this, but I really wish Valle would show up. I thought that he was gonna come, and it really feels weird without him there because a lot of the guys that do come are like his pupils. Valle taught these guys how to play the game, and now they're trying to win this tournament that he's not even there at. So I don't really know what the details are, what the squabbles are between Valle and everyone involved, but I would really like to see Alex Valle there. I mean, it's kind of weird without him there. As gross as it is when he touches your back, it's kind of odd without him there. So don't be a bitch, Valle. Let's see you at Wednesday Night Fights. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the results? What are your thoughts on the mood, the change in flavor of Wednesday Night Fights? You guys have been going the last 2 weeks. Is there a big dramatic change to you? What do you think, Ricky?
In terms of just like the general, like the mood of the environment and everything.
Any observed pros and cons in your eyes? Turnout, vibe, attendance, whatever.
The cons don't. I mean, it feels like a Wednesday night fight. Just the vibe is not there. But other than that, it's like it feels like the same tournament we've been going to all this time. The only like the pros is more people are loose on commentary and people just seem to be just like more or less like having fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
So uh, I don't see really too many cons or really like any pros from it. It's just the same thing to me.
Yeah,
That's
I
how I
want it
feel.
to be the same, but it just seems like the numbers have dwindled slightly. Tekken had just under 16. Rip, you took the whole tournament, and you sponsored me yesterday. Thanks, I appreciate
Oh,
that. Sponsor me again next week with your winnings. And it just seemed like people, I don't know, less people, less buzz. I don't know why. It does feel like the same tournament. In fact, to me personally, it feels a little bit more fun. As much as I loved doing commentary under Level Up and, keeping it clean, I like to be able to watch a match, and if something fucked up happens, I like to go, what the fuck? Like, it's a natural thing that you're expressing yourself as a commentator, and it's really natural and cool and fun. And that aspect of it is really nice. I mean, you could do it before too, but I just don't feel like my teacher is watching me anymore. So I don't know. Overall, I hope that this is a good thing. I hope that this is a good thing overall. What's with the open mouth, Rip?
Markman's in the chat.
Ooh, what up, Mark? We love you. Hey, you
Hi,
know what?
Mark.
We should have Mark on the show again soon. Hey, Mark,
That's
come
a
on
good
the show
idea.
again soon. He's the best. But I mean, yeah, what's the deal with that? You guys think that this is kind of a sight into the future? Do you think it will decline, or do you think this will maintain as a weekly thing for years to come? What do you think, Rip?
I think it all depends on whether Alex Valle and them start running Wednesday night fights.
What does
Like I
that mean?
think if they don't run weeklies and this is the only weekly, then I think it's going to do fine. I like that they put up the banner on the wall, with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
logos. I think that really helped.
A lot.
And now that they have that, it feels a lot more legit.
Mhm.
And maybe they'll still get sponsors, and they'll be prizing like Wednesday Night Fights used to do, which I
Mhm.
think is the one thing right now the Level Up could bring to the table that Super Dojo does not have.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's the weekly. I think everyone's going to go to it. So, unless Vibe brings back Wednesday Night Fights to run back in a totally different location that's far away where people would be like, well, I can't drive it to Super anyway, like, I'll just
Yeah.
go out here. That's the only thing that I think he could really do if he wants to do weeklies at this point.
Yeah, I mean there are options for him, but from what I've heard, this is totally just internet buzz. They're gonna just not do weeklies and focus on more larger events and esports things. And it's like I don't know, maybe if there aren't any other tournaments going on, hopefully this being the only one will really make people think like what I'm hoping is that people don't think like, okay, this is what's left. All the games are kind of old, whatever. That could be what people are thinking. I mean, what's the next game? MK10? Is that going to
Yeah.
do it? Is that going to be like, revitalize the scene, rekindle the flame? Or is that going to be, I mean, it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be huge. They're going to throw so much money at it. I just hope that without Alex Valle, Watson and Super Arcades can still pull things like a $10,000 launch tournament. Remember Injustice came out and that shit happened at Super Arcade probably because of the, notoriety of Level Up. So I wonder if these kinds of arrangements, or what about like the Sega Cup?
Yeah.
Sega Cup was a really cool tournament for Virtua Fighter players, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously that had a lot to do with Alex Valle swinging that shit with Level Up. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really hopeful that these kinds of things can keep happening. These are like unforeseen side effects of Level Up splitting with Super Dojo, and I don't really know the full details of how that's going to change, but there are some pros. I mean, Tekken Tag 2 is being streamed. Super Turbo is being streamed at the end of the night. I mean, these are games that it's cool that they're getting some spotlight, And of course, Tekken, Ricky and I did commentary last night. It was fantastic. It was just like old times. So it's funny how Street Fighter 4 comes along and kills everything, but then the fighting game scene needs Super Turbo and Tekken and all these other things to kind of keep it fresh while we wait. It's like fucked up, Yeah,
It's
now
funny too because today they're running a CVS2 tournament
Yeah,
along
now
with all
you-
the other.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
now you need
That's
the fucking
awesome.
old games, huh? Now you're begging for the old games after Street Fighter 4 has fucking ruined everything for everyone, huh? all right, I'll play wrong. I don't know.
Well,
Go ahead.
it's also it's CVS2. I'm sure they're running it because of There's two reasons why. Number one,
Mhm.
37 Reloaded this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and number two, because the legend Boss is here.
What? Boss
here
is here?
He's here for 37 Reloaded, so he came early, and now they ran CVS2 for him and Super.
I have an arcade stick signed by Boss.
Really?
One time I was at Evo, I think it was 04. No, it was the first one in Vegas. 05.
05.
So I knew him. I had met him in the past, right? And I was walking through the Evo floor, and he came up to me out of nowhere, and he was like, "Oh, Eris, I need an arcade stick." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, man. You can use mine." He's like, "This guy wants the money match for $100 in CVS2." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude. Use my arcade stick and fuck him up." Dude, he ruined that guy's bunghole. Took his $100, and I was like, you know what? You gotta sign it, and he signed that shit on the back. Super tight, man. Boss is
Which
a
stick
legend.
is it? Do you still have it?
I still have it. It's the Soul Calibur 2 little mini Hori stick with green buttons. That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Super dope. Super dope. So, yeah, I'm excited, and I'm glad you brought it up. Moment number 37 this weekend is going to be a really cool tournament. I'll be there Saturday. You're coming too, right, Ricky?
Yep.
What about you,
When
Rip?
does it start and end?
I assume it's going to be one of those early start, 10 a.m. maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I'm
I
not
might
playing.
just watch
though,
it in
so-
the morning a bit and then take off in the afternoon or something.
Yeah, I mean, Watson asked me to commentate, so I'm going to commentate something. Maybe Third Strike, maybe Street Fighter 4 if there's room. I don't know. We'll see. But
That'd be
I'm
cool.
What's up?
That'd be cool. I didn't know you were gonna commentate.
Yeah, it's not under a very official capacity, but Watson was like, "Hey, man, I'd like it if you commentate." So I
Nice.
said, "Of course." I really like these types of events, especially this one is really important because to me, it's like I was there. I was there in the room. I was there when the floor started shaking, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Oh shit, full parry! Everything's like it was like. It's really like a special thing for me. So of course I'm gonna be there. Cal Poly Pomona. It's been 10 years. It's been a long, fucking rocky, 10 years for me. And I'm really happy about it. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. If you guys are in the area, come check it out. I think it's free to watch. Do we know if it's free to watch?
I
Watson
think
said so.
Yeah,
spectator
I
fee.
think Watson said it's free to spectate. I know there's going to be a BYOC area. I know a bunch of people, Nameless Question in the chat mentioned he's running CVS2 tournaments or whatever in the BYOC area. It's going to be a really cool event. And even though, it doesn't have Tekken, they actually, Watson came up to me and he was like, hey, Tekken was at that Evo and we want to run kind of every game that was at that Evo. Do you think it's going to work out? Do you think we'll get 32 people to enter, either Tekken 4, Tekken Tag 1, or Tekken Tag 2? And I don't know. I didn't think it would be likely at that price. $45, it's kind of steep for some people. But just because there's no Tekken doesn't mean it's not going to be a fantastic tournament, and I'm really looking forward to it. Justin, Diego Uma Juarez is going to be there. Tons of top players. Great commentating talent is going to be there. I'm super amped up. Cal Poly Pomona in California. Come check it out if you're in the area. Otherwise, keep your eye on the channel. I think it's going to be streamed on Super Dojo's channel, I presume, right? So Super
Makes
Dojo's
sense.
channel is going to be where the stream is. Do we have anything else to discuss on this issue before we plug our stuff?
Markman said he'll beat Ricky in T4.
Markman is calling out Ricky in T4. I don't doubt
Free.
that for like 1 second. I mean, the only way Ricky's going to win that is if he somehow manages to make it so that you can only use a pad and he just swindles the rules around. I don't know how he managed
deal up.
I don't know what the fuck the deal is.
I mean, you know what? Let me.
Oh, wow, what was that?
Nah,
Speaking in tongues?
Obviously, we didn't have the best competition in the 16-man bracket, but I have to admit, I had the hardest bracket out of everybody.
You have to admit?
Yeah, because no one else can say that.
Well, other people know the bracket.
I had the hardest bracket, dude.
Yeah, because you played me, and then that was the end of your bracket.
So mine was harder than yours. Shut up.
That doesn't even make sense. But
Yeah,
I had to
on.
play. I didn't play anyone that I didn't know. Everyone that I played, I knew was hella good, except for Anakin. That guy sucks.
Listen, moral of the story is that Markman would wreck your butt so easily. He would wreck your butt and your weird butt. Okay, so it would be no problem. Do you guys want to plug your channels and whatnot? No, that's cool. No big deal.
I'm still thinking about if Markman could fuck
What's
my
he
butt
using?
and my weird butt.
He's gonna get your butt and your weird butt.
If
for
he uses
sure.
Christy, then I'm fucked.
For those of you who don't know, your weird butt is your dick, and your weird mouth is your butt. Go ahead, Rip. Plug your
I didn't know
channels.
that your weird mouth was your butt.
Yeah, your weird mouth is your butt, and a weird snack is a drink. You get it. Weird
Okay.
dump is a piss. You'll figure it out. There's like a
Weird
key. There's a
Weird
legend
fingers
that-
are your toes.
Yeah, there's a legend at the last page. It'll explain all the different terminology.
Excellent.
Go ahead. Are you gonna plug your shit? I feel like I'm milking
Dude.
your tits over
No.
here. Come on. Plug your fucking channels or I'll cut it off.
I was thinking about Wednesday Night Fights and how I beat James and how that was so awesome. Because I was thinking specifically, this isn't even plugging my shit yet, but I mean, Ricky, you and commentary, you said something about how, like, I use the same gimmicks since Tekken 6, which is untrue, and also that
Yeah, obviously it was. I know it's untrue. I was going, what's the word? Excessively, making you seem whack. So,
yeah, right. Okay, whatever. But but it was funny because like you just basically like he even though he uses the same gimmicks and shit, he just does what he needs to do to win. And I think you guys called me like minimalist, just what I need to do to win.
Right.
And James was just such the opposite. And
Yeah.
then like that's what you guys pointed out. And it was like I watched it over because I always lose to James in grand finals, and Ricky, you called that, like that was gonna happen. But
Mhm.
I watched it back because I wanted to know why I won basically. And my conclusion was just that you just have to take grand finals one round at a time. That's it. Stupid, but yeah. Anyway, follow me on twitch.tv/levelupyourgame.
What the fuck is he talking about?
That was it, man. I wanted to talk about that. That was it.
I want to know what you were talking about. What is your conclusion? Take it one round at a time?
it's like all that coach speak. It's just
Gotta
like
live life one day at a time. What the
Yeah,
fuck does that mean, dude?
every inch matters.
Yeah.
I'm saying, for whatever reason, when I get into grand finals, I feel like I lose a lot more than I should. Like it's like something I've struggled with. I feel like
Okay.
like so. I watched it back because I didn't understand why I won so easily. I felt
You
like
won because James is a fucking asshole and he doesn't do any combos. I mean, it's so clear. You're
No.
just doing like simple, not even complex combos or tag crashes. You're just doing simple but complete combos. Complete. And James is just partying hard. No shirt, breakaway pants. He's just talking about the Gear Wars nonstop. And That's what happens, you know? I mean, if you don't do a real combo and you launch your opponent in grand finals, bing, bang, boom, you're going to forget what the count is, and Majin's going to win fucking SoCal Regionals. That's how it works.
Even with that, though, James has beaten me in many grand finals.
True, true. Well, I mean, he's been partying exceptionally hard lately, so...
Yeah,
And we even told him that, and then we also said that if he can get through an entire tournament without doing one setup, we'd give him money. Or
Yeah, I
something
know.
like-
We were gonna put a pool together and put money into the pot and say if he can make it through his whole tournament without doing any bullshit setups, just real combos and tactics, we would give him the money. But every setup he does, he has to put money into the pot, and we're all gonna get rich this way. So this is our plan. I'm looking forward to that. Was that your bitch calling, Rip?
No.
Okay, that was just your plug, and it was
Yeah.
unnecessarily elaborate.
Yes.
Okay. Ricky, do you have an elaborate plug, or do you just have a regular plug?
Well, my match.
Just wrap it. Yo.
Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Rick Steezy, 3 E's. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Make sure
Well
you guys
done.
check these guys out. Both of you are streaming more as of lately, especially you, Rip. Are you planning on streaming a lot soon, Ricky?
Whenever I feel like it.
Good
I don't-
shit.
No schedule.
Yeah, busy schedule. I hear you. What about you, Rip? Are you planning anything this evening or maybe tomorrow?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I played some Tekken Revolution earlier, and that was surprisingly fun.
Yeah, I have fun
I
every
might
time.
have to do that again, and I'm obviously gonna be playing more GTA 5, so that's
Cool.
on the schedule.
Sounds good. Do you guys have your bitch callings prepared?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll go first. So mine's not a person, but it's Covered California. All right,
What?
because like Covered California, Affordable Air Health Care Act, whatever that shit is, right?
Okay.
I signed up for it, and like I qualified for it, right? And then I come back to my mail, and I get 7 letters. No, sorry, 6 letters at the same time. 6. I'm
You
like,
grabbed
what the
them.
fuck are these things, right? And I'm like, okay, this must be different. They're all Covered California, right? And I go through them, and I open them, and they're all the same damn letter. I was like, well, this makes no effing sense, right? So then the next day comes, I get another letter. Covered California. Today I check the mail. I get 3 more letters.
Damn.
Covered California. I've got 10 letters now, and I don't know why. They're all the same damn thing. So Covered California, you're a bitch. They spent 40 cents on each of these. $4 to mail me the same letter 10 times, not including the envelopes and the paper. Like, what are they doing?
And whoever they're paying to put the shit in the fucking envelope, right?
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Don't
They're a
ask me, man. Yeah, they're a bitch. I'm with you. Ricky?
My bitch is gonna be Matrix Matt because
Oh.
there aren't many people. So those who don't know, Matrix Matt is a player in SoulCal. He plays Tekken. He doesn't play that much anymore. He actually is like the guy that I don't know. He's I guess not higher up or something. He has a good job at round 1, and so he manages
Which
arcades.
is an arcade, yeah.
Yeah, and he manages he has a lot. He wants to like bring in a ton of arcades. And he just tweeted, and his tweet was just something about like how is hashtag arcade Tekken, something something, be on the lookout, Dallas. That's all he said. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So I'm like, okay, hey, dude, what does that mean? He's like, I can't explain yet. I'm like,
What a nerd.
don't tweet that. Who are you? Like, don't tweet that. And
He's trying to get hype out of all 47 of his followers, dude. He wants them to get hype.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
none of them live in Dallas.
Yeah.
Who likes Dallas?
They're all us. We're the guys
Yeah.
who follow. We're like, okay, cool.
Dallas.
So that guy's a bitch. Even though because he said that tweet, I actually mentioned it, and now he's probably gonna get like a follower or two. So that's cool. And I thought I had another bitch calling, but I don't remember. So yeah, that's it.
Cool. Sounds good. My bitch calling has been set in stone. Earlier this week, I was searching around on the YouTube, and I was, just lost in the search bar, and I ended up coming across some YouTube channel, which I don't even care to remember, that fucking stole the footage of myself playing against Saint at Strong Style, as well as us commentating the match with Bronson and everything, took that clip out of my podcast, uploaded it to their YouTube channel, and because there is no Strong Style footage on YouTube, everyone's searching on YouTube to find that, and that video has way more views than the real video. So this motherfucker stole that shit. That is theft. I don't even
He's
know
so
who that
smart.
guy is, but whoever you are, I left a message commenting on your video that you're a piece of shit and a thief, and I think you could go fuck yourself for stealing that video.
Why
Fuck
didn't you
you.
put it up yourself?
I did.
I mean, like as its own clip.
I didn't think about it. It's not my fucking fault.
You
It
got
doesn't mean.
wrecked.
Well, why didn't you rob that bank yourself? Well, okay, it's still fucking
You got
stealing.
wrecked.
It's still stealing.
Okay.
You know? And the fucked up thing is, it's just a full screen too. Now, whatever. The bottom line is, fuck that guy. That guy's my bitch calling. That's stealing. Fuck you. All right.
What
Learn
we
some
should've- what we
internet
should-
ethics,
What we should
shithead.
have done was just like every 10 seconds, just say like copyright avoiding the puddle.
Yeah, like avoiding the puddle. It's like every smoke, subliminal messages and shit. Yeah. Anyway, so fuck you, man. I don't know who you are, but you know that shit's gonna come back to you. If you ever have a channel on your and a video on your useless channel that's worth anything, I'm gonna fucking steal that shit and put it on my channel. Fuck you, asshole.
No, you know
Anyway,
what you know what you should do?
What?
Just take all the hard work that he did to cut it out and just copy the video and put it up on your channel.
I am gonna do that, and it's not hard work. And I'm gonna copy all his other videos and put them all on my channel too. His whole fucking channel. I'm gonna subscribe to that channel, and everything he uploads, I'm gonna fucking re-upload it and see how you like that, motherfucker. I know you don't like that shit. Fuck you. I don't like that shit one bit. I thought it was so rude. I was very irate. Anyway, that wraps it up, right? Thanks for watching, internet.
Later.
Peace.